Welcome to Watchdog Wargaming. Like you, over the years, we've all collected many different rule sets for various different games that we've played. Now, over the weekend, I've gone up the attic, gone through all my different drawers, the boxes, MFO boxes from where I've moved around the world with the army, and gone through everything and found all the different rule sets that I've used throughout the years. Some I know that I'm missing, but others I'm found, and I'm actually quite shocked by the actual amount that I've got. Now, I don't be surprised if you lot have the actual, probably the same hidden away. But I actually found more or less the first one that I ever started with, sort of my rocky road down the wargaming path, and that was um, rapid fire. So that's what I started my wargaming adventure with. Not I did have Rogue Trader later on with the 40k, and I think it was Warhammer Fantasy. But this is what I started off with. Now, what I'm going to do is go through all the different rule sets that I've found, that I've used. I think these are the majority I've got. There's probably bound to be more up there, but this is what I found. So let's see what you've got in comparison to what I've got. So I reckon that you've probably got the same as me, but you never know. So here we go. So rapid fire. Rapid fire again. So this is the more modern rules, and I believe there's another one out here as well. But again, this is what I went on to. So World War II so far in the lead. So this one is right. This is actually what the face of modern battle. Again, skirmish combat rules, 1950 to the present, and yeah, they were in depth, you could say. But I actually split. Looks like I split the actual book and put it in a folder. So that's modern skirmishing. So oh, brilliant. Gorka Morka. So yeah, so that's another thing I went into, Gorka Morka. Hopefully I've got Mordheim. If I haven't got Mordheim, that's a rule set I'm missing somewhere. So what else we've got? Spearhead. So Spearhead, World War II again. But this is, I think this was, I used this in 6mm or 10mm. It was the small stuff anyway. Right, okay, and oh, there we go. Rate of fire, the World War II skirmishing rules, more World War II stuff and more skirmish rules. Something completely different. Hordes of things. This is when I was using like DBM, DBA armies for fantasy wargaming. So again, that was, God, this is an old one. But yeah, that's what I used to play as well. Hordes of things. Oh, go on, here we go. Brush off the dust. Combat. Oh, sorry, Contact. Wargame rules from 1946 to 2006. Yeah, started getting into those as well. That was quite good. So, are you keeping up with me so far? So, have any of you got any of these rules? Starship Troopers, the main rule book. Now I've got the rules, but I can't find the figures for it. So they're probably upstairs somewhere in the attic. Aha. Future Wars, the rules. Again, some from 2002. This is from 2002. This is an old rule set, but yeah, more dust. What else? This is a recent one, so you all might recognise this one out of a magazine. So never mind the bill hooks. So I've got that as well. That came out of I think it was Wargames Illustrated. Osprey Wargames, Gaslands. Now I think this is the first one, but again, a lot of these blue books I have collected sort of over the time, but hopefully there'll be quite a few in this pile as well. So, Victory at Sea. So again, I think this was, I'm not sure where I got this one for, but it's bolt action So it was Wargaming Victory at Sea. I think this came out in one of the magazines as well. And I've got a few ships. I recognise this one again. So this is 3rd generation warfare. Again, this is sort of like your Cold War gone hot. World War III again, another rule set. So yeah, I do like my Cold War gone hot. Oh, in fact, speaking of Cold War Commander. So I got lots of 10mm tanks for this as well. But again, it says on here anything that's 1946 onwards. Right, okay. Arc of Fire. So squad to company level infantry and armour battles from 1900 to 2000. Again, that's another rule set that I've used over the years. So so these are the things that people might start to recognise now. So yeah, good old 40k. I'm not sure which version that is, but it's that's the. I think that's the latest book I've got, I think, he says. But 40k. Ooh. Black powder. Yeah, black powder. So again, that's a recent one I've got. Stargrave. So yeah, Stargrave. So I have got Frostgrave, and so this is natural progressor to go on to Stargrave. Got the rules, haven't actually played this yet, so that's something that'll be for future reference. Back to the ships again. So Cruel Seas by Warlock Games. Again, love that one. Love the little ships and motor torpedo boats and E-boats as well, or Schnellboot. This is another one that's came out of the magazine recently. So Blam Blam. I haven't used that one yet, but it reads quite well. Another magazine one. So Death on the Dark Continent Light. So again, I think that came with a Wargaming Illustrated recently. Oh, this is full of dust. So Warhammer again. So yeah, Warhammer 40k. I'm just wondering how much money we've spent over the years for the different rule sets. It must be a fair few bob. Well, I think most of us wargamers seem to be are not multi-millionaires, and everything seems to involve it's either plastic crack or metal crack. Force on Force, modern wargaming. So yeah, more modern wargaming, and I know that I've got all the various different editions to that. So I've got Cold War Gone Hot, Bush Wars, and a few others, Vietnam one as well. Right, what else have we got? Okay, so we're getting down a bit more dusty now. So I did mention Warhammer earlier on. Yep, so Warhammer. Again, I don't know what year that was, but it's certainly been up in the attic a fair bit. Spaceships, not ships on the sea, but ships in space. Battlefield Gothic. Again, that's another one where I've got the rule set, but no figures for it, so they'll be up there somewhere. And right, okay, so this is in a plastic bag. We'll come back to that one because I'll have to dig that one out of the bag. So again, this is another recent one that I've picked up. So that was Battlefront Nam, which I think was it Little Wars did a demo on that recently, and that was quite good. But again, this is another one that I haven't played, but I have got lots of Peter Pig 15mm Vietnam figures from years ago, and I think it was either I can't remember what their rule set, but they had a quite a good rule set to use for Vietnam. There we are. Firefight Skirmish. Again, that's another one that I've used, and I used this in sort of games where we were doing sort of RPGing Third World War. very similar to like Twilight 2000 and stuff like that. So that's an old set. So okay, well, I can start seeing the floor now, so we're nearly there. So I did mention Frostgrave earlier on. I know there is another edition out, but that's the one that I've got, and I've played that a few times, which is to say that's a good game if you want to have got your friends around, what have you. And was it another Warlord games, the Warlords of Eowyn, or I think if you read it backwards it says Nowhere. So that again, that's another fantasy rule set that I've been using my fantasy figures for. So yeah, that's good. Oh, we're nearly there. So lots of blue coming up now. So World of Flame by Osprey. Again, I use this for Very British Civil War, but I think it was actually built for the Spanish Civil War by Paul Eaglestone. Again, it's a good rule set, and as I say, yeah, it fills the gap for my Very British Civil War. Now these are a couple that I've bought, but I know I haven't played them yet. So originally we've got another blue one, which is Zona Alpha, Salvage and Survival in the Exclusion Zone. I've got Black Ops, Tactical Espionage Wargaming. See, you notice I seem to like a lot of the old skirmish games as well. Another one, a recent one, so Rapid Fire Reloaded. So carrying on with the World War II and the Rapid Fire. And Absolute Emperor. Now, bit of a strange one because I don't own any Napoleonic figures. So, okay, so I've must have bought that at some point. But yeah, so it's, I think recently actually. But it's not one I recognise. Dragon Rampant. So more uses of more my fantasy figures. Again, this is a good game as well. So it's if someone wants something quick, you know, and it doesn't sort of, it's not very taxing. So something like this is a great game to for a weekend or an evening. Bolt action. Okay, so this is my current go-to bolt action. Yeah, World War II, but I play a lot of bolt action career at the moment. That's my thing. But also I'm looking at sort of post 45 or the conflicts that the British Army have got involved with, so Aden, Malaya, and stuff like that. So that's something I'm looking at. I have got a bolt action Facebook page for Korea. Google it. Search under Facebook for bolt action Korea. There's two versions, one with lowercase Korea and one with an uppercase Korea. Uppercase is America, lowercase, that's me. So come and join us, friendly bunch, and yeah, learn. Yeah, come and join us. So what else have we got? So in the rules. Right, okay, another Warhammer core set. So I think this is the most up-to-date one that I've got. Again, got the rule set, got the figures, done lots of painting, and haven't played it. So yeah, so that's something I've really got to do. So I'm a very, very slow painter, as my boys keep pointing out, and I just have to build up the rank and file and get a couple of games under my belt. But I have got a thing at the moment with the Orcs, which was on a previous video I did, and Aaron, my oldest, he's basically, we've got a bet on now that I've got, I think it's 6 months to finish about 1,000 points of Orcs, paint them all up, learn how to play, and then him and I are going to enter a tournament or a game up in Warhammer World, and yeah, we'll see. Well, and then finally, in fact, not so finally, this is one that's it's 7 days to the River Rhine. Again, 7 days to the River Rhine. It's World War III, Cold War gone hot. This is something that I'm reading at the moment with my subscription to Wargames Illustrated. This is one of the free downloads you've got, and I've recently got Great Escape Games. I've got the tokens and the cards, hard copy cards. This I'm reading at the moment and just going through the various different learning the process. And this is a quite good game actually. Again, not very taxing, but it's good for me. And then finally, I'll just get this out of the plastic bag. So this is sort of, oh, hang on a second. Yeah, caller, please hold. I will be you with you in a second. And then finally, this is the this is Camphor Group Normandy, and it was by Warhammer Historical. Tabletop war games in World War II. So again, this is when sort of Warhammer and Wargames, Games Workshop were looking at more just than sort of fantasy and 40k and stuff like this, and going down the sort of like the historical route. You know, I think that would have been pretty good for them actually. But yeah, I've got this and played it a few times, and I know that this is developed into other rule sets that are actually out there at the moment. So it's and that basically is it. I'm sure I've got a few more things upstairs that are stashed away, but yeah. So mostly I seem to be doing a lot of skirmishing, a lot of World War II, a lot of World War III, lots of fantasy. So I just wonder, you know, I'll put it out there. Let's see what else you've got stashed away. Have you got similar to me? Have you got other things? You know, what rules do you play? What rules haven't you played? Be interesting to know. Yeah, so the old thing, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like and subscribe and click that bell below. I am going to try and get back into doing regular things. Lots of things have been going on recently in sort of real life, what have you. So it's we'll get back on track and get back onto the painting and a few other bits and bobs. I've got a couple of visits coming up soon to various different conventions and some museums and a few other bits and bobs. And yeah, so I'll include that on here. So anything you're interested in, please let me know. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon. So take care. Bye now.
Squad morale restored.